Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Let's start, man. Let me tell you something. Every time I think the world's gone quiet, politics find a way to blow the trumpet. Here come Carney talking about we need $20 billion for fighter jets. $20 billion. You hear that number and your whole chest get tight. That's not pocket change, that's a whole lifetime of paychecks for entire towns. Then Trump steps in like, nah, I'm not dropping it. And suddenly, it's like somebody pulled the pin out a grenade and just rolled it in the room. Everybody ducking, everybody yelling, and Alberta and Saskatchewan standing in the back saying, matter of fact, maybe it's time for this 51st idea after all. Lord have mercy, this ain't just politics, this is a whole sitcom. First things first, money always makes people crazy. $20 billion ain't just fighter jets. That's schools, hospitals, roads, pensions, grocery bills. When you tell regular folks you need that much for shiny toys in the sky, they don't see protection, they see priorities upside down. And Steve gon' tell you. When the bills in your house are overdue, you don't go buy a brand new sports car. You fix the roof first. That's how people feel. Carney talking like security is everything, but voters look at him like, brother, I'm trying to secure this rent. So when Trump steps in and refuses, he automatically sounds like the only one with common sense. That's how the game flips. Second, Trump refusing ain't just about the money, it's about image. Trump loves looking like the man who says no to big spenders. He thrives on being the guy who looks at billion-dollar deals and says, "What, you think I'm stupid? I don't fall for that." And every time he does that, regular folks cheer. Why? Because everybody's had a boss or a politician waste money on nonsense. Seeing somebody finally slam the brakes makes them feel like somebody's finally on their side. Carney thought he was flexing with that $20 billion demand, but all he did was hand Trump a free spotlight. Third, let's talk Alberta and Saskatchewan. These provinces been loud already, talking 51st like it's a new album dropping. They tired, man. They tired of sending money east, tired of feeling like second-class citizens, tired of being the resource engine that nobody thanks. So when they hear Carney talking billions for jets while their farmers struggling, their oil industry fighting, their towns scraping by, that ain't just a slap, that's a body slam. That 51st talk starts sounding sweeter by the day. And when people get tired of waiting, they start making moves, even the wild ones. Fourth, culture clash is driving this whole fire. You've got Ottawa folks living in boardrooms, sipping lattes, making billion-dollar plans. Then you got prairie folks up before sunrise, hands dirty, putting food and fuel on the table. When you try to sell billion-dollar fighter jets to people who still fixing tractors with duct tape, you gon' have a fight. That ain't politics, that's common sense. Alberta and Saskatchewan A&T trying to hear about no high-tech planes when they got potholes swallowing whole trucks. It's two different worlds colliding and sparks flying everywhere. Fifth, the backfire effect is real. Carney thought he'd look strong, making that demand. Instead, he looks out of touch. Meanwhile, Trump looks like a man of the people for refusing, and Alberta and Saskatchewan look like prophets for warning Canada ain't listening. Everybody's roles got flipped in one headline. That's politics for you. You think you're writing the script, but the audience got their own interpretation. And let me tell you, the audience ain't clapping for $20 billion jets. They clapping for the man who said no. Sixth, the media done jumped on it like sharks smelling blood. Every headline screaming about fighter jets, Trump refusing, provinces threatening. And what happens when the media amplifies it? People who weren't even paying attention now fired up. That little kitchen argument, suddenly a stadium fight. And the louder it gets, the more Alberta and Saskatchewan say, "See, we ain't crazy. Look at this circus." Once the media spotlight shines, everything gets 10 times hotter, and there's no cooling it back down. Seventh, and here's the big one: momentum. Politics is about waves. One move leads to another, and before you know it, you're surfing a tsunami. Carney's $20 billion demand didn't just spark a debate, it created a rallying cry. Trump refusing turned into a victory lap. Alberta and Saskatchewan saying 51st turned into the headline of the week. And once that ball starts rolling, it don't stop easy. Momentum feeds anger, anger feeds movements, and movements change maps. That's how history gets made. Not with slow meetings, but with sparks that catch fire. And buddy, this one's already burning. So when you step back and look at the whole picture, it's wild. You got a leader demanding billions like it's monopoly money, a former president refusing like a dad, saying, "Not in my house." Provinces threatening to pack their bags and walk, and a country split like a Thanksgiving dinner table with no turkey. It's messy, it's loud, it's unpredictable. But one thing's for sure, this ain't the end of it. Carney thought he was writing a story about fighter jets, but what he did was write the first chapter of a whole saga. And baby, once you say 51st out loud, you can't unsay it.